Hey everyone, today we're going to be explaining Newton's first law of motion, also known as the law of inertia. Now, to anybody who's unfamiliar with it, the law of inertia states that any object in motion will stay. The law of inertia states that any object at rest stays at rest, and any object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by an external force. So let's break it down using this rolling chair and this heavy backpack. So we're going to be beginning step 1, process 1 of our inertia test. We're going to be taking this rolling chair and just rolling it across the room. Here we go. When I push the chair, it starts moving because I applied external force. But why does it stop? Well, that's because of friction. A force acting against the chair, causing it to slow down and eventually come to a stop. You see, if there were no friction, this chair never would have stopped, just like all objects in space. Would have kept going and never stopped. But thanks to this floor, the chair eventually slowed down and came to a stop. And that is friction. Alright, so part 2 of the experiment. We're going to be adding this heavy backpack onto the chair. What I'm going to be doing is pushing this chair with the same amount of force as I did earlier, at the same exact starting point. Here we go. As you can see, the chair didn't get nearly as far. Now you can see with the backpack added that the chair doesn't move as far. Why is this, you may ask? This is due to inertia. Since the chair has more mass because of the backpack being added onto it, there's more inertia. Because Isaac Newton said, now what is inertia even? Inertia is an object's resistance to its changes in motion. And the more mass that an object has, and remember, the more mass an object has, the greater its inertia. But what would happen if I suddenly stopped the chair with the backpack on it? Now, what I'm going to be doing is pushing the chair with the same amount of force, the same weight backpack, same thing as usual, except this time I'm going to be stopping the chair midway across the floor, and we're going to see what happens. Let's go. So as you can see, the backpack wants to keep moving even when the chair stops. That is an example of inertia. The backpack was in motion and continued to be in motion until an external force, which was the floor, acted upon it and caused it to stop and fall over the chair. A more real-world example where this same law of inertia is applied is with cars and seatbelts. When a car is moving and suddenly stops, your body wants to fly forward and out of the car, but the seatbelt prevents that from happening, which is another example of this law of inertia, just applied to a more real-world application. So remember, inertia is an object's tendency to resist changes in motion. Whether something is moving or not, it will remain that way until another force acts upon it to cause it to change.